I am Jana Bosonko, and this is QTV News coming to you live from our studios on Kairaba Avenue. Thanks for joining us. And here are the main news headlines. President Barrow on Sunday presided over the official opening of the 2022 legal year, where he emphasized that the judiciary must remain independent, resolute and strong enough to facilitate good governance and the rule of law. Still on legal matters, the Chief Justice of the Gambia on Monday urged legal practitioners to exercise discipline and honesty in their work during a graduation ceremony of 60 lawyers called to the bar. The National Assembly Standing Committee on Human Rights and Constitutional Matters on Monday presented its report on a bill which seeks to make torture illegal in the Gambia. 16 ECOWAS officials were certified on Friday after successful completion of their diplomacy etiquette and protocol training by the Diplomacy and Protocol Consulting. And on sports news, on Sunday, Senegal won their first ever African Cup of Nations title, winning 4-2 on penalties against Egypt in Yaoundé, Cameroon. Those were the main headlines, and now the news in detail. Do stay with us. Thank you for joining us on QTV News, and I am Jana Bosonko. Now, President Barrow on Sunday presided over a ceremony marking the official opening of a 2022 legal year, where he maintained that the judiciary must remain independent, resolute and strong enough to facilitate good governance and the rule of law. Mamadou Lamin Choi has the rest of that story.
This is always a special occasion in the annual calendar of the judiciary, marking the official opening of the legal year. A procession of lawyers, district chiefs, magistrates, cadis, judges and justices of the superior courts, led by the Chief Justice of the Gambia, display the composition of the Gambia's judiciary. The executive, including cabinet ministers and President Barrow, form part of the guests for the ceremony. Opening of legal year is an opportunity for stock-taking on the progress and challenges confronting the judiciary. The president of the Gambia Bar Association, Saliu Tal, addresses the gathering and acknowledges what he calls great improvements in the justice delivery system and increased confidence in the fairness and independence of the judiciary. Despite such progress, Lawyer Tal highlights the legal and infrastructural challenges facing the judiciary and the need for law reform in the country.
In today's Gambia, executive overreach or interference in the judiciary is no longer an accepted practice or norm, and importantly, judicial decisions are sacrosanct.
The Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Dauda A. Jallow, who is government's legal advisor, reflects on the raft of legal and legislative measures government has undertaken to improve the justice sector.
Your Excellencies, my lords, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as we look forward to the resumption of proceedings of our case for justice for the Rohingya before the International Court of Justice later this month, true to the Gambia's positive legacy in relation to the African Commission on Human and People's Rights, the Ministry is in engagement with relevant stakeholders to facilitate the construction of an African Commission on Human and People's Rights headquarters in the Gambia.
In 2021, amidst an increase in public trust and confidence in the judiciary, the courts recorded 8,882 cases, more than a half of which have been dealt with by the courts. The Chief Justice, Hassan B. Jallow, takes stock of the progress registered by the judiciary in improving access to justice through infrastructure developments.
The provision of some $40 million in the 2022 budget for infrastructure development, the judiciary is planning to expand its infrastructure by commencing the construction of a new court complex in Brikama for the West Coast region, similar to the one in Bundung, and the construction of an archives and administrative building in the Law Courts complex at Independence Drive, Banjul.
A fundamental feature of government under President Barrow's leadership is the policy of non-interference in the work of the judiciary. President Adama Barrow maintains that the judiciary must remain independent to be an agent for the rule of law and good governance.
We are fully conscious of the sacrifices you make to protect the peace and stability of this country. I am pleased to disclose that the government will review the salaries allowances, and other benefits of senior staff. Furthermore, the judicial officers bill will be finalized and tabled before the National Assembly by the end of this year.
The opening of the legal year is a long-standing event spanning at least 3 decades. Mahmoud Lamin Choi, QTV News.
Now, don't be surprised if I sneeze as I suffer a sudden cold. Now, the Chief Justice of the Gambia on Monday urged legal practitioners to exercise discipline and honesty in their work. He was speaking at the call to the bar ceremony for 60 lawyers who recently graduated from the Gambia Law School. And Sumana Isonyasi has the rest of that story.
This is the latest batch of lawyers to graduate from the Gambia Law School. Having completed their professional training, they are now prepared to join the country's legal fraternity to practice a trade the Chief Justice describes as a noble yet very demanding vocation that requires honesty and integrity at all times. In his welcoming statement, the Chief Justice extolled the graduation ceremony as a clear manifestation of the growth of the country's judiciary. He also disclosed that the General Legal Council has recently constituted a committee to review the legal education system, having received many complaints against legal practitioners in the past year, and offered words of advice to the graduates to always remain truthful.
The vocation that you have chosen is an honorable one. You have reached an important milestone in preparing for that vocation. You have gone through university, successfully undergoing the LLB program, and you have also successfully completed the professional course at the Gambia Law School. There's still a few more steps left. You have yet to do your pupillage for 1 year, that is your apprenticeship or attachment, at the end of which the General Legal Council will consider whether each of you is a fit and proper person for enrollment as a member of the honorable profession of legal practitioners.
Deputizing for the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Hussein Tomasi, Solicitor General, and Honorable Justice Raymond C. Sock, guest speaker of the ceremony, both respectively congratulated graduates and enjoined them to remain ethical and abide by the code of conduct of the law school in the discharge of their service.
You must always remember that you are bound by rules and regulations that have been perfected to maintain the highest standards of professionalism and conduct for all lawyers.
I would therefore urge you to familiarize yourselves with the practice rules describing standards of professional etiquette and conduct, and use them as a guide throughout your professional careers.
In her keynote address, Fatou Toure, the best overall student, who also scooped at least 4 other prizes for outstanding performance in all courses, expressed gratitude to her parents and lecturers for their guidance and support throughout her studies, and implored her colleagues to live up to their lecturers' expectations.
I wish to extend our profound gratitude to everyone that is here today on this very important occasion of our lives, as well as those who could not be here today but have supported us in various ways throughout this journey.
Fatou also received a special present from the President in recognition of her unrivaled performance. Of the 60 students who were certified on Monday, 34 of whom are Gambians, 33 are female, and 27 are males. Answane Sonyasi for QTV News.
Now, congratulations to the 60 lawyers who are called to the bar. Now, the National Assembly of the Gambia on Monday convened, during which the Standing Committee on Human Rights and Constitutional Matters presented its report on a bill which, for the first time, seeks to illegalize torture in the country. Mamadou Lamin Choi has the rest of that.
The Prevention and Prohibition of Torture Bill was tabled in July 2020 by the Justice Minister to provide for the first time a legal framework for the prohibition, prevention and punishment of any form of torture and cruel or inhuman degrading treatment in the Gambia. After its first and second readings, the bill was referred to the Standing Committee on Human Rights and Constitutional Matters for scrutiny. For this task, the committee reported that it had consultation with stakeholders and referenced the Gambia Criminal Code, international treaties and legal instruments on torture. Here is Suhaibu Toure, the Vice Chair of the Standing Committee.
In E, that's where we have problem. On the mental or psychological torture, where it says confining the victim in a solitary cell against his or her will or without prejudice. So our recommendation there is to remove the without and just say with prejudice instead of without.
National Assembly members consider the Standing Committee's report and weigh in on the significance of the bill for the protection of human life and dignity for everyone in the Gambia against rights violations. Seynou Touré, Fatoumata K. Jawara, Halifa Sallah, NAMS for Jara East, Talending and Serekunda are among the NAMS who reacted to the Standing Committee's report and expressed support for legislation addressing issues of torture.
All human beings should be treated equally, fairly, and with dignity. This is so because even our Creator, despite being the best artist, but respects human beings.
I must also thank God for being a victim of human rights abuse and to serve in a fifth legislature that is tabling this important bill.
Honorable Speaker, it is important that we see this act or this bill, which will ultimately become an act, as the first basis of ensuring that we domesticate not only international law, but that we put into operation, in practice, the provision that seeks to protect our fundamental rights and freedom.
The 2020 Prevention and Prohibition of Torture Bill imposes a duty on everyone to report all forms of torture and inhumane or degrading treatment to relevant authorities and offers protection to witnesses, victims and persons reporting torture. The Assembly adopts the Standing Committee's report, effectively allowing the bill to pass for consideration. Mohamed Lamin Choi, QTV News.
From that story by Mamadou Lamin Choi on the illegalization of torture in the Gambia, we will now go for a short commercial break, and when we come back, we have some more local news stories for you as well as sports. Do stay tuned. I am the light goddess. Everything I touch turns into light. I am the light at the end of the tunnel, and my technology is the answer. I am the happiness in your life. I keep you connected, and I am Q-Power. I am Q-Cell. I am Sunubus. We innovate, others follow. Call 111 for more information.
Separatists.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. If you're just tuning in, this is QTV News, and I am Jennifer Sonko. Now, a former Gambia High Commissioner to Senegal and ex-Chief of Protocol, Ambassador Ibrahim Ousmane Ndour, who is now the CEO of Diplomacy and Protocol Consulting, on Friday certified 16 ECOWAS officials after successfully completing their diplomacy, etiquette and protocol training. This story by Annabelle Gay and Yaya Jawo is narrated by Annabelle Gay.
Last Friday saw the completion of the Diplomacy, Etiquette and Protocol training at the Ocean Bay Hotel in Bakau, Cape Point. The Chief Executive Director of Sahel Investments, Alhaji Abdoulaye M. Toure, was there to present the final session on public relations to the ECOWAS officials before they received their certificates of completion. The officials, who had traveled from Nigeria, cited this program as an important factor in strengthening their understanding of diplomacy and civility within established positions and environments.
We appreciate the fact that protocol is dynamic, so you keep learning and you keep getting better. This is a local content established in West Africa, the first of its kind. So for us, we have a duty to market our product. And considering he is Gambian and from West Africa, ECOWAS should be in the forefront of marketing his business.
What I'm taking home is just the ambassador saying that no door is shut to a protocol officer.
Former Ambassador Ibrahim Ousmane Ndour also shared his joy in fulfilling his passion, reflecting on the journey to building his business from conception to completion. This is the former Chief of Protocol's 5th cohort since the establishment of his training and consulting firm, and he plans on eventually expanding outside of the Gambia.
I established my consulting firm known as the Diplomacy Etiquette and Protocol Consulting in December 2020, 1 month after I retired, because I wanted to send a message what my consulting is all about. It's something I'm very passionate about.
This is the first time that the ECOWAS Commission has appointed the firm to train their protocol assistants, and the former ambassador plans on eventually going into partnership with the ECOWAS Commission for future training programs. He also urges government institutions to send in their staff for training, stating that the protocol training is a necessity for all government officials.
The first time I have the ECOWAS Commission has realized the importance of my consulting firm and decided to send in the 16 protocol officers from the Commission of ECOWAS, Community of West African States, and I look forward to going into a partnership with the ECOWAS, and that's it. We are all governed by International Code of Ethics, and we all need to adhere to. If we do not, we'll be left behind. I start national, I want to go regional, I want to go international. Why not? The sky is the limit.
A night before the closing ceremony, participants were invited to a send-off party organized by the ex-diplomat at Icy Wonderland in Kololi, where they shared their experiences and cultural diversities before the former diplomat presented gifts to the ECOWAS Commission through the head of conference of the ECOWAS Commission, Felix Kosuo, for distribution to various institutions of the Commission. Reporting for QTV News, this is Annabelle Gay.
Now, purchasing second-hand underwear is on the rise, possibly due to poverty. The used clothes are potential carriers of pathogens for skin and other infections. Aminata Cisse spoke to health experts and a dealer in second-hand clothing, and this is what she found.
Many people, especially women, go to the market to buy second-hand underwear. For some, second-hand or used clothing are durable and affordable. However, scientific research shows that the usage of second-hand underwear can cause scabies, fungal, and other infectious diseases. Sheikh Omar Silla, a public health professional, says infected second-hand underwear can cause fungal infections, which can cause discharge disorders, especially for women.
You will be suffering, from some itches, and there are circumstances that also, what is evident is that you will have some discharge disorders. You will have some orders of discharge. That is because of the yeast, the growth of yeast in the vagina, and that can be as a result of the use of that panty, especially for women. In the case of the vagina. So there are conditions, for example, in the case of vaginal candidiasis. Now, vaginal candidiasis will cause you undue comfort. Now, you will not be comfortable.
Mr. Silla further advised women on what to do before using second-hand underwear.
When we buy panties, we have to wash it, we have to iron it, and then use it. The essence is to be very careful with these panties. The chances of infections are very evident. This is a used product, and you don't even know who is using it. You don't know the medical condition of the individual using it, the initial user. Sometimes we are so much in a rush that we don't want to wash these panties. What will happen is you will just put it on. Certain times you just iron it a little bit and put on the panties because you are so much worried that you will have a program to attend, or you have, because you have a new clothes, it thinks that is a new clothes, and you're so much eager to put it on. So it becomes, the chances are that, you will have fungus. There could be moles and fungus on the panty.
Senabu Becham, the program officer at the Non-Communicable Diseases Unit at Ministry of Health, says fungal diseases can affect women's reproductive system.
It causes long-term harm, like what? You can have infertility. It can even cause women not to have children. Or it can have infections that can be transferred to your newborn if it is not treated. So these are some of the complications that happen. If not treated, it can ascend to other organs.
Buramu Gassama, a dealer in second-hand clothing, says he always advises his customers to wash the second-hand panties thoroughly before use.
Men and women should always wash any second-hand clothing before use, especially underwear. No matter how eager you are to wear it, take your time to wash it very well for your safety. Your health should be your concern.
Some scientific research suggests fungal infections found in second-hand underwear can be reduced by washing the underwear using hot water and other disinfectants detergents. However, it is only 50% reliable as some bacterial matter can remain. For QTV News, I am Aminata Sise.
From that piece by Aminata Sise, now let's take a look at what is happening in the world of sports. Now, Senegal won their first ever Africa Cup of Nations title, winning 4-2 on penalties against Egypt in Yaoundé, Cameroon. Our sports reporter Mamadou Gajaga watched the final and he fastened this report.
Sadio Mane scored the winning spot kick to hand Senegal their AFCON title after two previous finals eluded them. This was a double redemption for coach Aliou Cissé. In 2002, he missed the final penalty when the Teranga Lions lost to Cameroon. He again lost to Algeria as a coach in 2019. Thus, winning the title this time was extra special for him. In the match, Senegal had more possession and created many scoring chances. However, the best chance fell to Sadio Mane, who missed the penalty in only 4 minutes of the match. Abu Gamal, also known as Gabaski, saved Mane's shot from 13 yards. Gabaski was carrying on his heroics from his performance in the previous game when Egypt eliminated host Cameroon. Mohamed Salah forced Edouard Mendy to make a save in the first half, with the ball going behind for a corner. The final was the fourth match for Egypt in this tournament to go to extra time, and they started to show some tiredness. They brought on all their substitutes, but their impact failed to alter the pattern of the match. Senegal introduced Amadou Bamba Dieng, who had two powerful shots saved by Abu Gabal, to deny the Lions, forcing the tie to be decided on penalties. In the penalty shootouts, Egypt's Monad Ahmed Monaim missed and Edouard Mendy denied Mohad Lancine with a save. Likewise, Gabaski denied Bonassar for Senegal. The decisive penalty fell to Sadio Mane, who, having seen his spot kick saved earlier in the match, took his winning kick with power and precision, beating Abu Gabal to give Senegal their first ever AFCON trophy. Africa's top-ranked side Senegal will again face Egypt twice next month for a place in the World Cup in Qatar. Mamadou Gajaga, QTV News.
Now, congratulations to the Teranga Lions. Now, before we end this news bulletin, let's recap our main headlines. President Barrow on Sunday presided over the official opening of the 2022 legal year and emphasized that the judiciary must remain independent, resolute and strong enough to facilitate good governance and the rule of law. Still on legal matters, the Chief Justice of the Gambia on Monday urged legal practitioners to exercise discipline and honesty in their work during a graduation ceremony of 60 lawyers called to the bar. The National Assembly Standing Committee on Human Rights and Constitutional Matters on Monday presented its report on a bill which seeks to make torture illegal in the country. 16 ECOWAS officials were certified on Friday after successful completion of their diplomacy etiquette and protocol training by Diplomacy and Protocol Consulting. And on sports news, Senegal won their first ever AFCON title, winning 4-2 on penalties against Egypt in Yaoundé, Cameroon. Well, that is all we have for you in this edition of QTV News. Join us at 10 for another bulletin. Thanks for watching.